live on the Breaking and Entering Advertising podcast. We have a creative duo here. Can you please introduce yourselves and your roles to the people?
Absolutely. I'm Elizabeth Daniel. I'm a copywriter.
I'm Blair Seward. I'm the art director.
The art director.
The
one.
Yes.
The art director.
She does
I'm
it
just
too,
a
though.
copywriter.
She'll Photoshop things.
Don't tell people
She has
that.
to.
They'll ask me to. No one's supposed to know. It's true.
Okay,
I can also
can I just
edit
tell you,
video.
when
and
she
they're not-
Photoshops things, she just erases things and she doesn't make a mess.
She gets so upset. She's like, you didn't. She's like, you erased the background. And I'm like, yeah, I erased it. I didn't want it there.
Anyways,
She tries.
Sore subject.
so is there a strategist that you guys, that you two work with?
There are many strategists.
Like, is there one that you prefer?
Oh, that's tough. Is there one we prefer?
The one we prefer will always be the one that we can go and poke holes in the strategy with
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like some strategists might be like protective of their strategy, right?
Yeah, and there's
It's her
some that are
baby.
just like they're like lying to the room when they brief you. Like they're sort of like, you know, and you're like, no, this doesn't make sense actually, and you know it doesn't make sense too. So you're just like kind of trying to make everybody believe it, but it's not true. But then the really good ones are like, this is true, and then you're like, is it? And then they can explain why it actually is.
Or they'll go
you
on
know?
the journey with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or they'll be like, I don't know, let's talk it out.
That's not actually
Unfortunately,
true.
we
Yeah.
have several of those here. We're not like we do have good strategists.
Yeah.
But we don't have like one. We're not like a, you know, triumvirate with a strategist. See who's the writer, triumvirate.
That's good.
She wasn't going to say
I
triumvirate.
don't
That's a good word.
know that word.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
She didn't
Triumvirate.
take Latin. There you go.
Yeah.
how did you two break into the Martin Agency?
Yeah, like a pry bar.
We
You would
broke
think
ourselves in.
yeah, you would think a crowbar, but really a pry bar works better. You just pop the door. You got to go right at the latch. Sometimes the hinges, but
yeah.
usually there.
We kind of like stalked them in a way.
Yeah,
And
we were
reached
pretty
out-
aggressive.
Yeah.
Because we had
in
come
the
to
door.
Richmond for a different job, and Martin just had the best clients, and we were just like, man, those are fun people to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept in touch with people we knew here.
I feel like Martin, though, like all of their work had such a breadth of like a look, a tone, a style, and like that was one thing that I think really like drew us to this place because
Mhm.
it was like
They didn't have like one shtick that they
Yeah.
did.
Right.
They really could. There's a range, you know.
Yeah. And how long ago was your break into the Martin Agency? When did you get started?
2 years ago.
2
Yeah,
years
two
ago.
and a half. 2.5.
Gotcha. And Shy Day, LA before?
Oh, yes.
How
We were
was that?
pirates.
We were pirates forever. It's true. That
How-
was an
how long?
amazing agency. We were there for
4
4
years.
years.
That's a cool spot. Very
It
cool
really
spot.
was.
Yeah.
Great people.
What were you working on there?
We got to work on almost everything there,
Yeah.
which was really cool. We started on this brand that no one wanted to be on.
Yeah, that was some of the best advice we ever got was
Yeah.
in school. They were like, not all of them, but one of our professors was like, work on the brand that nobody wants to work on, that everybody thinks is terrible. So we heard they were rebranding and we were like, let's just jump on it. And everybody else was like chasing Gatorade, you know, and Twitter and the other cool brands that were in the building. And
Yeah.
we were able to really like set the rebrand for that, which
Nice.
really
As
worked out.
juniors,
As
yeah.
juniors, yeah.
Yeah. You
So-
stepped up and then were you able to sell the work?
Yeah,
Like,
we
Sold the
sold it
work.
straight through just as we had pitched it. And
was this like an early job?
Yes,
this was our first job out of school.
Nice.
Yeah. And
So you two have been partnered up since school?
since
Oh,
Brand Center,
yes.
yeah.
Wow. And you went to VCU Brandcenter.
We did.
Yes.
Got it. Undergrad?
No, undergrad.
Kind of a journey.
Yeah, we're kind of just peeling this thing back
It's a
here.
little-
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
All right, so I went to James Madison University, and then I went to the University of South Carolina for a Master's of Fine Arts in Creative Writing, and then I went to the Brand Center after I was at USC for a while, and I was teaching at USC and stuff. But the funny thing is about a master's degree, the second one is a mistress. You get it? That's my joke. There you go. So we're gonna tell jokes.
LOL.
One.
That is
That's my
good.
joke.
I mean, my joke is that I went to clown college. I went to Ringling
Did.
College of Art and Design in Sarasota, and
How she can juggle so many projects at
Yeah.
once, right?
This is good. This is good.
Uh,
I'm a juggler.
It's true. Yeah. But yeah, then we went to Brand
Yeah.
Center. So
What drew you to Brandcenter of all the ad schools out there?
It seemed like the most at the time. It was definitely the most prestigious, the one that was like attached to a big university that took it seriously.
And
You
you
got
got
a master's.
you got the degree.
Yeah, and you did all that. Also, the people there at the time were extremely good.
Yeah, I was
And-
portfolio stalking for sure. Like, and saw that basically all these portfolios that I liked, they had one thing in common on their resume, and that was that they all went to the Brandcenter. And
Yeah.
I was like, I think I gotta go there if that's
And were you thinking about Martin when you were there?
Yeah, I mean, Martin, I grew up in Richmond, so Martin was always this like legendary sort of thing that just produced really good work. But it's kind of mysterious. If you're not in advertising, you don't really know about it. And it is really hard to break in, as y'all are
Existing
Yeah.
for. Yes.
But so that I knew somebody who went. I grew up with a girl whose sister went, and she mentioned it to me because I was like kind of struggling with academia at the time. I was teaching, and then there was an ice cream social, and the university had a contract with Aramark at the time, and Aramark wouldn't come out for less than $1,000, and 4 people showed up to the ice cream social, which meant each bowl of ice cream was $250. And I was like, where does this money come from? And they were like, comes from the department budget. And I was like, where does the department budget come from? And they were like, tuition. And I was like, what? And then I was like, this is gross. So then I was like, if writing is going to be about money, advertising is actually a more honest endeavor than academia.
still about money.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I mean, that's kind of hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my journey to it.
And you two partnered up when?
At Chiat, like in
Yeah.
our first job. Like we had worked together in school.
What was that like when you
starting out?
Yeah, when you partnered up officially.
I think we were both like sort of new at it. And so we were like experiencing all the things new together for the first time. It's not like one of us had a career in advertising before.
Right.
So like we sort of like
And we both had had experience that went deep in our own, like tons of design work. Like that's what you went to school for. And then I had tons of writing. So it was like, we really were, a lot of people are sort of like, I'm a, I don't know, copywriter, art director, social media, whatever person. And it was like art director, writer.
That's nice.
We were very
Yeah.
focused on our roles, I guess.
Yeah.
and we tried to like, I feel like we took a lot of lessons from school into like every sort of like obstacle we had in that first,
Mm-hmm.
at the first like project, basically. Like,
Yeah.
how would we do this in school? And
Right.
then we just kind of like, we're like, well, we do it this way in school.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, because we were juniors, it was often like somebody else is going to be on this too, like a senior team or a mid-level team, and they're going to do the right thing. So we can just do the good thing. And like, that is what typically, people actually want anyway. But so we often are like, we're not going to do the responsible thing. Somebody else will. So we can do the fun thing, the good thing. And that really paid off for us.
Or the brave thing, as Lee Clow would say.
Yeah.
Holy.
We sat right behind
We
him.
did.
It was
Any fun stories with Lee?
His notebook. I don't know if he knows
oh
that.
yeah, there was so much
nice.
like fun little like relics everywhere all the time. Like
Yeah.
we had this thing called the surf bar, and it was like where people would go put the things that they didn't want. And
Right.
sometimes that would be like a lot of stuff from his office, like
Right.
old Apple Think Different posters.
Yeah, like the original ones.
the original ones. And it was just, yeah. There's this Instagram account called Good Enough Is Not Enough. And they feature all this like old merch from the day. And that's kind of like all the stuff that we would go steal around.
Is
at
it your
Shine.
Instagram account?
It's
with all
not
the stuff you
mine.
pilfered from.
No.
Mm.
But they did just start following me recently, and I
Ooh.
feel really proud about it.
That's good. Yeah.
Love it. How would you characterize like the West Coast advertising versus like Richmond, East Coast?
That's
I
my
feel
fun.
like, well, we were only at one place on the West Coast,
Right.
and the pirate mindset I felt like really existed out there. Like there was a whole lot of like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
It was
exist
also
on-
extremely egalitarian. And I don't know if that was just Chiat or if
Yeah.
that was the entire West Coast, but it was very much like the best idea wins. There's not a lot of like, this is how we do this. It was like, I don't know. It was like, this is just good work. Let's make it. But again, that could just be Chiat because that is the only place we worked out there. And I know there are many, not
Yeah.
as many as in Richmond, Virginia, of course, but
No,
there are a
there's
lot of
plenty here.
agencies.
Yeah.
And I think as in the terms of like production, it was like a whole different experience. Like we would go to castings like just from our house, and we'd be able to be in everything. And like at the end of a shoot day, we'd just go home, and now we have to like have huge long travel days. And it was like very much like we could live our normal lives while still like doing the whole production thing,
Yeah.
which was fun.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, we got to be in things a lot more out there because just they were happening out there.
Yeah. There's a little more magic on the West Coast. I think.
Yeah.
Just a soupçon, just a
Just a little sprinkle.
just a sprinkle.
Got it. I want to ask some questions about like qualities that you look for. Are you hiring people? Like, is it Like at your level, are you
Mm-mm.
you interviewing people?
We
No.
sometimes, no, we're not hiring them to work for us, but we are sometimes like filters for.
You're in the process, right? Like
Yeah.
if there's a candidate that wants to work at the Martin agency, they might
sometimes
flow
will.
through you all.
Mhm.
And what are you looking for when you're interviewing or talking with potential candidates?
What I'm looking for is like a point of view where people are like, I love this thing, or like this is good and this is why it's good. And I can think they're completely wrong, but if they have a reason to believe it, that is good,
What if you completely disagree?
If I completely disagree and they make a good case, I would still think
Got
that
it.
they are good.
Okay.
But there are a lot of people, I mean, I don't want to say there are a lot of people, but there's a tendency to be like, this is what is popular, therefore it must be good. And people that are like, actually, they're not like, I don't like this because it's popular, but they're like, I like this thing that other people are not talking about. And this is what's, those people I think are more valuable or more interesting.
Yeah.
I think
That's
to that point a little bit, I like portfolios that like tend to go down a rabbit hole of information or like idea. I feel like so often you see like 3 print ads and the radio spot, and you're like, what?
Or this stuff is like super complicated, and you're like, don't put strategy. Don't let the strategist put all this in here. Strategists are their own people, and creatives should be good strategists anyway. So like, you can kind of make up your own. I don't know. There's lots of times where you see like a huge built out thing, and it's like, where is the creative in this? And where's the fun in it? Everything should be fun. One of our account directors several years ago was like, people just want to laugh. Why we ever make ads that try to do anything else, I do not know. And I was like, that is a fair point, honestly. Like, we do make ads for other reasons, but she's not wrong, Yeah. And so I think that's true of portfolios too, is you just like want something there that entertains you or, gives you something back.
What was the craziest about me section you've come across? Like, I know some people put like they have like 90 cats and there's nothing wrong with that, but hobbies, anything pop out in recent memory?
I have not seen one that is
a lot.
Oh, scratch it.
I like my own.
What's your own?
My own horn. I don't know. I shouldn't talk about. I can't say that. Okay, fine. You've twisted my arm. It's
had to.
It's a MySpace quiz that like is like somehow Kim Jong-un is like a part of it. Like it was like written like he is somehow asking me the questions or something. Like but it was funny at the time. And I think it still is very true of who I am. So like if you read it, you're like, yeah, that tracks. I think that's what those should do. Is you should enjoy it while you're doing it. That's a big part of everything in this business. Not like
you
don't just try to do a gimmick.
You should do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, do I think this is funny? Even if other people are like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. If you think it's funny, you should do it.
Did you have to do any like gimmicks to break in to any position?
We did.
We had 2 gimmicks. We had a gimmick
about the Craigslist gimmick
to get to the job in Richmond here. The first job.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. That one the recruiter.
Everybody's been talking about that today.
Oh really?
In every interview.
Okay, so the recruiter,
she kept looking at my LinkedIn.
Blair's LinkedIn,
looking at my LinkedIn.
Well, maybe she heard about that. No, it was only yours. But anyway,
and I'm like, keep getting these views and views and views, and nothing in my inbox. And I'm like,
it's the worst.
What is going on?
So then we make a fake Craigslist missed connection and just screenshot it and just send it to her with no subject or anything. It's like,
you've been looking at me.
Do
you want to talk?
Like written like a misconnection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was it.
So we just emailed her that.
And it worked.
Yeah. And then Katie here, I think we emailed her a picture of like
I don't know what we did.
A lizard. It wasn't good.
She probably hired us so that we stop emailing her. That was probably the main.
It was like, I've been looking at this lizard. I don't know. It's probably not
lizard based.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the
definitely not as good as the misconnection.
And what was the other one you mentioned? You said you had multiple. Was
the lizard?
The other lizard? Yeah, I don't know. What did we do? I don't know. Yeah, I think the gimmick works best when it's kind of thrown away, like we did. We were like, it's kind of lower stakes and it's not desperate. It was like, is she actually looking to hire us? Like this will work if that's what she's looking for, but if not, I don't know that it might have. I think it did help us break through, to be honest.
Right. Push. Yeah. And what? Any other advice for somebody trying to break in today to their first job as a creative? Should they
like in a portfolio?
Should they break into this industry as a creative, or just?
I think
look into consulting, accounting.
You know, consultants do seem to print money. And
I don't know what they do.
Yeah. So if you know how to consult, do that first.
What jobs would you two be in if it wasn't in advertising? It was like your...
I worked at the mall, so I don't know.
So you would work at the mall. Okay, we have that on record.
I'd still be at the mall.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You could have picked any job, but you picked the mall.
Okay, no. I'm not picking the mall.
I'm saying she was once employed at the mall.
It's just
She
there.
can still do the Annie Ann's pretzels so well too.
Those are hard. That's a good skill.
I
To fold
would-
socks like that, I feel like it would be
You
good.
fold socks?
You could if you.
I was
had
gonna say
that
you
skill.
did. I was like, this is a whole different interview now. I would probably be writing for TV. I think that's something I was like gonna chase down. And then the thing about it is like TV shows only run for a certain period of time and then you look for a new job. And I think that that's something that people who write for TV are, you know, sort of comfortable with. But I like this job. The pacing is a little different.
Yeah.
It's faster, I think. Not that TV writing is slow, but you're on the same show often for a little while. But that would probably be what I would do. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not a pro there, but that's what I would probably be chasing down.
Fair.
I think I'd still be doing something creative in a way. Like all my hobbies are something creative, but like with my hands, like embroidering something or watercoloring. Not necessarily like be an artist, but something where I'd do IRL creativity.
Yeah. And I do think people should try to break into this business because if they want to make good work and they want to make things that are beautiful and funny, and I think we need more people who are going to really push that and say like, is this actually funny, or is this something that is like things that seem funny, which are not the same thing? Like we need more actually funny stuff. We need more actually meaningful stuff and not stuff that like
is just noise.
Yeah. And it's noise. And also like just, it's sort of like you can like press the button to make the sound effect, or you can actually like, that like makes a moo, or you can go like, hear a cow. And we need those like more authentic things, you know what I mean? Where people are, it's like actually funny, you actually experience it and you get the feeling. Because lots of times we use these like shortcuts in advertising that are like, this will cue as funny. And so then people will be like, no, I get it. It was supposed to be funny. And then we say like, that was funny, but it wasn't, you know, like things that are, I mean, it's pretty rare to have it. So I think people that want to do those things should keep coming and keep trying to do them because we need it. The world needs it. There will be ads forever. And I think AI's ads are going to be kind of garbage. I really do. I don't think they're going to be good.
And I will
First of all, everyone will have 7 fingers on each hand.
Yeah, definitely. Or 4.
Or 4.
Something that we did too, which I don't know if this is like, if we can condone this, but we would stay late at Chiat a lot and kind of like we would poke around a lot. Like, we'd go into people's offices and look at like their...
Now, granted, they didn't like have doors.
They weren't doors. They were,
and everything was on every wall, so you could stand at the edge of the office and see what was up. So you could see like what people were working on, which is
see their thought process.
Take Lee Clow's notebook.
I mean, it was on the surf bar. Okay, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But there was a lot of like, sneaking around that we did. That
I wouldn't even say it was like so much sneaking around as it was like learning from the people around you.
Yeah,
totally.
And that is getting more difficult as we go like digital and Zoomy, and like that's not great.
Yeah, I definitely encourage like the juniors like show up to the office if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and bother people. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ask people to lunch, do all that stuff.
Or like, steal the decks.
Yeah,
all the
things. It's so hard to steal decks now, and the server is impossible to
crack.
I'm so bad at searching.
Gotta find a coder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you both for coming on.
Absolutely.
This was really fun.
It was helpful.
How can people reach out?
Oh, I don't know. Do I have a website?
Oh God.
Oh,
yeah, we are reachable by email. We have a website.
Yeah, we have websites. Mine is elizabethdaniel.work.
BlairSeward.com.
Yeah. And then we have BlairandElizabeth.com.
Yeah.
So
nice. Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Oh, good. I hope that was fun. Just sort of rambling.